Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos of the paid request. This time for Douglas. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1989 film Miracles, directed and starring Jackie Chan, which I guess is a remake of a Frank Capra film from back in the day. And for those interested, like I said, requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, video game let's tries or playthroughs, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. So, I guess it is kind of a different type of Jackie Chan movie, and when it came out, it did not do well. I will say, watching it, I understood why. I did not mind the film, but I did not love the film. It would not be in my top 10 or probably wouldn't be in my top 20 Jackie Chan movies because, like I said, I don't mind it. You definitely tell Jackie was very much entranced by the time period. So you look at the way the costumes and the set designs and the architecture to capture the 1930s Hong Kong look and feel. He did a fairly solid job with that. When the fights are there, it's quick and fast paced and well choreographed. A lot of nice wide shots that you see Jackie doing a lot of the work, unlike the last film I saw, Thunderbolt, which he was hurt in that movie, so you could tell the cuts were a bit quicker because he had to use a double in a good chunk of those scenes. There are some recognizable people in here. For example, Anita, I don't butcher these names, Anita Moy, who sadly has passed away. She was also in Rumble in the Bronx and Legend of Drunken Master. She plays the singer when Jackie's character opens up this nightclub. You have this guy, Bill Tun, who Jackie gets screwed over. The guy pretty much steals his money at the beginning, but then later they cross paths again, and Bill Tun helps him up a little bit. Lo Lei, the star of Five Fingers of Death, he's in this film as the guy that pretty much, I guess you would say, is the main bad guy. I guess. Because the story of the film is Jackie has come to Hong Kong, like I said, 1930s. He gets tricked into losing his money, but with the last bits, he buys his rose off this older woman. And while he's trying to figure out what to do next, he almost gets hit by this car, but is able to make it out of the way. Luck of the rose, however you want to put it. And he gets put into the middle of this gang warfare, really. Trying to figure out what to do with all this. So he's trying to figure out what to do. He helps the guy out who's the leader. And the gang leader's dying. You get the idea he's trying to give crap to Jackie, but the way it's said, his dying words get misinterpreted. So now people go, oh, he picked you as the leader of our gang. He's like, what? Well, you're pretty much the godfather now. Jackie doesn't want the job, but now people are going to be gunning for him and his position, and he won't have their protection, so he doesn't really want to do it, but he's got to be sort of the godfather of this gang. And he tells them, well, we got to go legitimate, we can't be hurting people. After a fight here or there, he helps open up this nightclub, and business seemed to be fairly successful. One of the men don't like that Jackie's the leader, that's Lo Lei, and gets with this other guy. And the plot kind of goes in there. There's this big subplot with the old woman who Jackie always buys these roses for luck. It seems like each time he does, he gets a bit of good luck. The older woman, she gets a letter from her daughter saying she's coming over with her rich hoity-toity fiance. And the old woman's like, oh my god, I told her I was being good and successful, but I'm not. I'm going to bring shame to the family. And Jackie's like, well, your roses have helped me. We're going to help you. So we're going to give you a fake husband, which is Bill Tunn, Uncle Bill, who was in Rumble in the Bronx. He was in Super Cop. Sadly, he's passed away. He comes in and pretends to be the fake husband for this girl's daughter and the fiance. As if like a precursor to the Birdcage almost. Now, like I said, the way Hong Kong looks, I think they did a fairly decent job. Like I said, the costumes, the art direction. But it is a different type of Jati film, and I think if you're more gung-ho for Police Story and Super Cop later, Rumble in the Bronx later, you may think this is a bit boring or a bit slow or a bit lackluster in terms of the amount of action in there. And the comedy I didn't really think was that funny. The story I didn't think was that intriguing. So there's a part of me that would say I didn't really like the film, but I didn't hate it either. It was one of those of, okay, I like the look of it. I appreciate what Jacky's trying to do. He's definitely putting his heart into this. When the action is there, it's fairly well done. I would say the only really noteworthy scene is the rope factory scene at the end. And again, there's some nice choreography here and there, but again, if you ask me a month later, I'm not going to remember much about this film. I didn't compare it to what I saw later in Rumble in the Bronx and Super Cop and Operation Condor and other stuff. Or even other period piece movies he did, like Project A, among other stuff. I can't say I was really that interested about the subplot with the old lady and this girl. Oh, I can't have my daughter find out. I didn't really care. I didn't care about any of that stuff. And that took a big chunk of this movie. And the comedy, I just didn't really think was that funny. The few bits I laughed at is in a couple of the fight. Like, if I'm looking at the fight scenes, okay, he avoids the car that almost hits him. But wasn't like a nick of time type of thing. He was fairly far away and then the car hit this place he was at. He fights these two guys after he's picked as the leader, and the fight's okay. Lasts about a minute or so. Some really good moves. But then again, it's a lot of the story about opening the nightclub, and the dubbing did not help either. I think the English dubbing was so terrible in this. And it's one of those that, sometimes Jati would go back. I think more so like if a company got the film and put it in America in theaters, then you would get Jackie Chan dubbing his own voice. Thus Super Cop, Rumble in the Bronx, Jackie Chan's First Strike, Mr. Nice Guy. I definitely prefer that. But instead, it's another guy dubbing Jackie. And I don't even think the same guy that dubbed him in Police Story dubbed him in this. I don't think. This guy sounded a bit bland. And the other guys, like, they're trying hard to sound like Godfather type. Like the one guy, I swear he's trying to sound like Edward G. Robinson. You see here, say? What you about, say? And it was kind of funny, like, seeing how the people that dubbed this are, like, trying to put their own gangster 30s American accent onto these Asian folks. Just something about that made me laugh, I gotta admit. And probably the next action scene is not for a while. Not for a while, until we're a good chunk into the movie. Nightclub, there's a bit of a... Like, the English dub was terrible, and there's a bit where she's trying to sing is awful, but then when she sings in the nightclub and there's her natural dialect, beautiful singer. Just want to understand Anita was a real scene in real life, so that worked. So maybe it's one of those films that would work better watching it in a Mandarin and not the English dub, but that was the only one I could find. But there's a montage where there's a car bombing and all this other stuff. Then they meet this other guy who's kind of one of our other bad guys and try to make this deal. The guy doesn't like the deal. So you get this restaurant fight. In the restaurant fight, there's some nice choreography. And during the fights, there's some entertaining comedic bits. That's when the humor worked for me. Like, one of Jackie Chan's cohorts, he's getting all these teacups and dumping them out the window. Just they have men down below in a car. He's trying to hit the car to get their attention. And they're just like, wow, people throw a lot of silverware. People are trashy in this place. And the guy gets more and more and more and just dumps more and more out the window for them to get the hint. And there's a usage of chairs and other utensils and teacups. Later on, there's another fight where he's using rickshaws, and one of them goes up and hits him between the legs, and he's having to get on top of one and like flip it to hit a guy. Like he flips off it to hit a guy, and it's rolling down the stairs. He's trying to stay steady on it. At one point, he's getting hit at, and he lands, but he lands on this spiky fruit type of thing, and ow, ow, ow. So that type of physical comedy worked well enough. But again, I would say like those are the three scenes. Now there's really like 4 scenes in this movie. Really 4 scenes of action. And while there's some pretty decent choreography, there's not really any stunt work that I go, wow, that's crazy. Like Operation Condor, when he's on the motorcycle, he jumps off and he grabs the crate in air. Or even before that, when I think he does like a bat flip and almost gets hit by a motorcycle, or even Jackie Chan's first strike, the whole skiing section early on. This one felt, I wouldn't say tame, but just, for me, wasn't as memorable compared to those highlights for Jackie. At least for me. Like, some of it was fine. And again, the whole subplot with the lady and the old lady and Bill Tunn trying to pretend to be her husband, I didn't care about any of that. I really didn't. It didn't interest me. It didn't pull me in. I just could care less about that stuff. At least in this movie. It felt like there was a lot more of that than the action stunt work. And I think if that's what other audiences felt at the time, then maybe that word of mouth is why this film didn't do as well when it came out compared to what felt like more tighter paced. Like, look at the beginning of Police Story. Whereas the guy, he's shooting and then they go through the windshield and or chasing the guy and grabbing on with the bus, chasing the bus, grabbing on with the umbrella, let alone that crazy fight at the end with the, or the fights, was it that one or Police Story? Might have been Police Story 2, the fight at the playground. That just feel, that's the thing, when you look at Jackie Chan stunt work and Jackie Chan fight scenes, and to do like a top 10, does this film ever pop up in any of those? Top 10 fight scenes, top 10 stunt scenes? I know Jackie at one time said this is his favorite film. That's fine. I think because of the love letter to the 30s Hong Kong, just him wanting to do more of this gangster Godfather type. Although Jackie's pretty much playing the same type of role. The guy is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nothing wrong with that. He's comfortable with that. But I don't want to say it was anything unique or new. But that's what I mean. Like, it didn't bear with me. When you look at like even Wheels on Meals, the fight he has with Benny the Jet, and Benny Jet does the thing where he does the kick and it takes out the candles, and that's why I didn't hate it. I'll take this over what he does nowadays. Well, I did not like New Police Story. I did not like Police Story Lockdown. I'll definitely put this over those two. The ones he did with all the heavy CGI, the one that was what in India or something, and I already forgot what it was. Like Chinese Zodiac was one. Like I'll take this over that because at least you get that '80s old school aesthetic without digital manipulation. So it just which would just takes me out of the movie for this type of Jackie Chan movie. Everything had to be done in camera. And well, there's a part of me that was nice to see Anita and Bill Tunn because my first experience with Jackie Chan was Rumble in the Bronx. That's what introduced me to the guy and to his filmography. And Bill and Anita were in those fairly prominently. Anita was the one who took over for the shop and was kind of getting more and more exasperated that Jackie was bringing the trouble to this grocery store. There's a one bit where I think a chunk of the building is blown off, taken down, and she's left there on the toilet. She's just mad. And Jay's like, no, you're indecent. I don't care anymore. I think that was Anita in that movie. And then Bill Tunn was Uncle Bill. I think that was Anita, or was she the other girl? I think that was her. God, now I'm gonna look this up because it's gonna be bugging me. Because so many times I like get stuff wrong, which gets annoying. Elaine. I think she plays the character Elaine. Okay, one second. I apologize. Yeah, Elaine's Supermarket. Okay, so yeah. Okay. I was down myself, but just want to make sure. So it's nice to see them. But even the finale, there's some, Lole has screwed Jackie Chan over and told this other crime boss, he got your men killed, when that's a lie. In fact, the guys later find the guy and says, yeah, Jackie didn't do anything to us, this guy did. But by then, you're in this rope factory. And again, that was the one scene that really stuck out for me. The other three bits of action was alright. The rickshaw stuff, the restaurant stuff was okay. But this one, I think just the different ways of utilizing the rope. Like the one guy's on top and Jackie keeps pushing it and pulling it down. So the guy's trying to get him back. He's fighting people. He still keeps pulling it down. So the guy's trying to keep his balance. Hoisting the rope and tangling people up, and there's a bit where they're up high and the two people are trying to get him to fall over, and Jackie has to keep jumping like it's a big case of jump rope. And he's got to move over, and he's still jump roping and avoiding the rope that men on either side have, trying to trip him up. That's a fun scene. That's a fun bit of business. But there's not really a big fight at the end. It's anticlimactic. Not every Jackie Chan film has a big fight, to be fair. I mean, Rumble in the Bronx, for example. There wasn't this big one-on-one fight. That's true. But just the way it ended felt like, oh, that's it? Where, oh, okay, he's going to fight Lole, the Five Fingers of Death guy, Dun, 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 dun. But no. They're ready to fight, and Jackie stops and goes, hey, let's do this, this, and this. Oh, okay. And then that was it. So it's like, we're going to get Jackie versus the Five Fingers of Death. Nope, that's not the case. And then everything's fine. So that's why in this case it felt a bit just anticlimactic. I don't know how else to put it. Now I know it's a beloved movie. I know a lot of people love it. I don't hate the film. If I hated the film, I would say I hate the film. I don't hate the film, but is it a favorite of mine? I would say no. But you know, it was a time waster at best for me. I don't think I would ever watch the film again. I would not pick it up on Blu-ray or anything. Like I said, if I look at Jackie Chan's filmography, there's just other films I prefer more. And I'll just end it with this, where if I could find his filmography, I know I should have this set up earlier. That's my fault. I mean, I would say I liked Wheels on Meals a bit more than this. I would say Police Story I like more than this. I will put Armor of God above this. Project A, Remember Not Minding over the Police Story 2. It's certainly better than Island of Fire. That's the worst Jackie Chan film I've seen, or one of the worst. Operation Condor is one of my favorites. Super Cop, City Hunter. I would put City Hunter above this for me. Same with Crime Story. Legend of Drunken Master, absolutely. Rumble the Bronze, Jackie Chan's First Strike, Mr. Nice Guy, Who Am I, Rush Hour 2. I would put those above this. Thunderbolt. I would probably put this above Thunderbolt. Just because the Roll Factory scene, and because Thunderbolt had his issues of Jackie was hurt, so he had to be double, so the fight scenes aren't as great as could be. And even the car chase had to be sped up. The film had to be sped up, so it wasn't as exciting as it could have been, because where they filmed it, they couldn't drive at normal speeds, so they had to drive at slower speeds but speed up the film, so it just looks weird and takes you a bit out of the movie. So I'll put this above, what was I said, Thunderbolt. And Twin Dragons, this is a better movie, but I would say the finale of Twin Dragons was a more, with the car shop. I think that's a really good scene. The car shop stuff. I would say this is a better movie, but that was a better finale. I'll put it that way. At least for me. Oh, is this true? Apparently, the 1991 Beauty and the Beast Disney film, Jackie Chan was the voice of the Beast in the Mandarin dub. Really? I never knew that. So the Disney Beauty and the Beast, 1991. Apparently, Jackie Chan was the voice of the Beast in the Mandarin dub. Just like he's the voice of Captain Li Shang and the Cantonese and Mandarin dub of Mulan. I knew a bit about that because on YouTube you can find him singing the theme song. In Mandarin, of course, but... Be a man. And apparently in production is, well, the new Karate Kid film, apparently Rush Hour 4, something called Legend, new Police Story 2, and Project P. I think you might want to change that title. And I spit. Project P? Water sports? Anyway. So, that's my thoughts, my jumbled thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.